Hey YouTube, I'm XX the Panzer XX. I'm going to do another Axis and Allies miniatures review. This time I'm going to review the Russian T-70 model 1942. Okay, here he is. Good look at him. Okay, let's check out the card. Okay, it's a Russian tank. It's the T-70 model 1942. It's 12 points. That's not a lot. That's a pretty cheap tank to deploy. Its speed is 5, so it's one of the faster units there is. You know, the average speed for Allies is about 4. The average speed for Axis is about 3. This is a 5. You know, there are a few tanks and vehicles that have this speed, but not a lot. Okay, its defense is 4 frontal and 3 rear. That's common to see on Axis units, but not so common to see on Allied units. Usually Allies units have all around the same defense, and usually Axis are stronger in the front and their weak spots are in the rear. But this one, its weak spots in the rear. You know, I see people say this means 4 out of 3. That's not what that means. That means 4 frontal, 3 rear. That's the rear defense, that's the front defense. This thing is weaker in the front, and it's decent in the 4 is pretty good frontal defense. 3 is a decent rear defense. This thing's almost built in defense like an Axis unit. That's like the standard Axis medium defense. It's for guns, however, it's pretty weak. Against infantry, it's 5.54, which is not bad. And against tanks, it's 9.76, which is a little below average. But it does have a disability, like you saw on my review of the Samua versus the Panzer III. This also has undermanned ability, which basically, I don't think I explained it, what that meant on the Samua video, but undermanned means that this unit can't attack while disrupted, which is a disability, if I say so. But you know, this is a Russian light tank. And for light tanks, it's really got decent armor for light tank. It's only 12 points, so you can put out a bunch of these. I wouldn't use these to support an armored attack. I mean, they really don't have enough power to support an armored attack. I would either use these to support infantry, or if you got enough of them, attack or defend a flank. You know, I would say about 2 to 3 is minimum for attacking a flank. 2 of these is minimum, yeah. And they're only 12, so you can put out 2 for 24 points. That's like just a little bit more than putting out 1 Panzer IV or a T-34. If I'm thinking right, it's 28 points. So you could put out 2 of these for less points than you could a standard T-34. But yeah, I'd use this. I only have 1, so it's gonna be supporting infantry definitely. But yeah, it's a pretty decent light tank. I guess if you're undermanned on tanks, you know, if you're absolutely outnumbered and can't afford to spare a tank, you can use this to support a tank attack, but it serves best supporting infantry and on the flanks. You know, only if you absolutely can't spare a tank would you want to use this to support tanks. But that's just my opinion. You know, if you have any different opinions, comment, send me a message, whatever, I don't care. And here is the T-70. You can't really adjust it to look that way because there's a little, I think it's the fuel tank. Maybe in the fuel tank, engine, or exhaust port or something coming up on there. And while it could look like that and move that way in real life, you can't really on the model, but it's a pretty good model. I really like this tank. Sadly though, it will not be going to me. As I said, I play as Axis. This will be going to my buddy, my opponent. But he's outnumbered, so, you know, he needs it. But there's that. It's a pretty good unit. Okay, until next time, XX Panzer XX out.